Okay, so hello everyone. Uh, Welcome to today's 2024 Winter November release webinar. Uh, I am Phương, the product specialist from Onix, and today we just welcome the new updates of the 2024 Winter November release, which, as usual, brings us so many new exciting updates. So, uh, can you hear me clearly? Before we start, I just want to check if you can hear me clearly and then see the screen easily. So if you can hear and see everything normally, please leave a chat in the chat message so that I know and I can like adjust if there is any problem. Okay, thank you, Daniel. So for anyone who has arrived just now, please let me introduce again. My name is Phương, the product specialist of Onix, and today, as you might have already seen the changes in all of Onix applications, we will go through all of the changes together. Okay, and before we dive into the details, uh, please let me uh, share some notes with you beforehand. So, as usual, we will go through all of the changes together to see what's new, and then we will come to the demonstration of the two highlighted features today. That those are the automatic processing of orders and the new job report in Onix Work. And then we'll go to the Q&A session. So if you have any questions along the way, please ask in the chat, and in the Q&A session, I will visit the chat and try to answer as many of them as possible. So if you are not comfortable leaving your question in the public chat, there is a private chat channel so that you can share any like sensitive information or any question that you don't want others to see and only want it to be visible to me only. And in case that if we cannot answer any questions in this webinar, we will follow up with you via the email afterwards. So if you do not have the answer right now, please also leave me your email address in the chat, and then uh, you will be followed up and contacted later on. And at the end of the webinar, we will take you to an evaluation form. So we really hope that you can spend just 2 minutes to fill out some information, your feedback about this webinar, and how we can improve this release webinar in the future. So this is just always to ensure that all changes in Onix applications are really clear and helpful to you guys. Okay, so if everything is good now, then let's go into the overview. Okay, so as you might have received the uh, email about the release, about this release, we are introducing the changes to some of the job forms, some enhancements to that applies to our applications, and there are Onix Work, Onix Worker, and Onix Inspect. And in the last few days, we have successfully introduced some more enhancements to the Onix Tool Store. That's why in this uh, overview picture, you will see there is Onix Tool Store appearing. So if you are an Onix Tool Store user, remember to try out the new changes. Okay, so this is all of the changes in this release, but we will go into the details right now. So the first one is with the forms. In this release, we are enhancing the entity report, the EKH certificate and examination report, and the birth certificate. All of them are all concerned with the styling, the display, and the layout. So the first one is with the entity report. So if you're an entity inspector, uh, you might have once concerned that, okay, my customers do not want this, the responsible to be visible on the form. We do not use the verifier. Um, the responsible person is not something that we really need in our entity inspection. So that's why in this release, we add a new option for you. So when you do the entity any job with the entity inspection report form, in the responsible verifier and customer approval, you can choose the not applicable option. And if this option is chosen on the final document, you only see the done by field, which is this one, and all of the not applicable fields are hidden. So this is actually a little bit different from the previous option that has been existed for a long time. That is none. If you choose none, the field will still be here, but it just doesn't have any name or signature. If not applicable, then it is hidden. And for the next one, it is the EKH forms. So for EKH certificate and examination report, we have reviewed and updated the latest logo of the EKH. So this is a sample document with the latest logo. And the final one is a small change, like a small update to the layout of the birth certificate. So in the certified organization logos, we have adjusted its alignment and ensure that there is no border or like bad alignment. So in the final document, the certified organization logo will appear like this one. Okay, so those are all the enhancements to the forms. And next, we will come to the new changes in all applications, which means that whether you are a user of any Onix app, you can find these changes. Okay, so the first thing is we are supporting 6 new languages. So these are the languages in this release: Dutch, Finnish, Estonian, Latvian, Lithuanian, and Polish. And as a user, you can change the language inside each app, or you can change your preferred language. So you don't have to switch the language every time. Okay, and the next thing is a little bit more concerned with the admin, sorry. Okay, so this is the slide. In this release, we are renaming these 3 licenses: Worker to Onix Worker user, uh, Onix Pick and Pack team member to Onix Pick and Pack team user, and Onix Read only to stakeholder. So the next time that you come to the settings users and role model, if you see the new names, you should know that they are originally named like this one. So we hope that these changes will better reflect the usage of these licenses. The next change is also concerned with the privileged users and roles. So we are introducing the new sub-privileges under companies and settings. Actually, this like we are split it. We are splitting the big privilege of companies and settings into smaller sub-privileges. So we hope that this change will help you manage all of the roles of your company's users at a more specific level. So in companies, we have the manage non-member companies, and this is a new one. The old one is manage company connection. For settings and integration, we have manage roles, single sign-on with Microsoft Entra ID, the new name after Microsoft renames the feature. user provisioning with Microsoft Entra ID group claims. So this ones, if you are using the single sign-on feature and the group claims feature, then you will be concerned with these two new sub-privileges. And for the integration, there is the Vectorson integration, and uh, there are external data source and equipment GPS tracking as usual. Okay, and the final change, the final enhancement that can be seen in applications is another rename of the new progress of issue. It is now called draft. So we believe that this actually reflects the nature of this progress better than the old name, because at the progress draft, you can edit um, the details of an issue. Once you have set it as to do or close, then it is not as easy to edit the issue. Okay, so those are all of the enhancements for the applications. Uh, Next, we are going to the detail of Onix Work. So in Onix Work, we have two highlights here that will be presented later on: the job report and the automatic process of orders. And there are five new enhancements. Okay, so the first thing is, if you are using the job report today to collect all of the inspection that you have done to your customer company, you might have noticed that it has a tweak in its interface. By a tweak, I mean there will be some new sections, and there are more options for you to choose from. There is also a new document styling and layout, which follows our latest design. Okay, the next one is the automatic processing of orders. So this is a static image, which in brief, you can imagine that if you're using the Onix Pick and Pack, then once you set it to the next stage, to set it to a triggering stage, the order will be processed, and you don't have to go into Onix Work or press the process order button manually. So this also be demonstrated in the later section. Okay, so now we come to the enhancements. The first enhancement is also about the orders. So previously, if you are working with the orders, you might know that once you process an order on order line, you will have to wait for the whole, uh, let's say, Google Chrome tab to finish the processing. And then that might take you up to 1 or 2 minutes or maybe more. But now, once you process an order line, only that order line will be blocked, which means that you cannot edit anything. It becomes read only. And then you can still work on other order lines. So in this screenshot, I was processing the order line 001. And when it becomes read only, I continue working on the order line 89, or continue working on this SB 00002 order, and that will make my work a little bit more efficient and faster. So the next enhancement to Onix Work is when you design an entity variant. So you know that for an entity inspection, it might need you to design so many form properties. There are so many points to check. And what if I want to see how the final entity report will look like? I will click on this preview button on the toolbar after I select one variant, and then I will see how my design look like. And then this will help me to adjust any like option or form properties while I design. Okay, next is uh, if you are frequently leaving really long comments, then I think you will love this enhancement. So we have added one new button expand button to let you expand the common field to let's say not full size, but obviously more, much bigger than the default common field size. So this expand button will be available for use in equipment details, in other when you work with others or when you work with the products. So in this screenshot, you can see that there is a scroll option. So if my comment is too long, I can always scroll down. And this also applies if you are reading. So we hope that this will help you with long comments and long notes. The next one, the next two enhancements actually is about the job interval description. So you might, as you have known, in the last release, we introduced the job interval description to let you specify the purpose of a job interval. So now we can filter and then later on uh, add this job interval description as the display field. So in this enhancement first, I can select a criteria in the filter panel over here in the equipment model, and then I choose the due date, and then I will set up all of these criteria so that it will filter for only the drops, uh, the ones with drops job interval that are close to the due date. Of course, you can always like customize the date range over here, just as any like other due date filter. So this is the enhancement that I just mentioned right now. Uh, if you are using your own view, so here you can see that I'm using my own view, which is not a standard view that is like defined by Onix. So in this custom equipment in progress, my own view, I can configure this the due date and due status specifically for the entity equipment. And of course, as just as any other display fields, I can sort and group this the equipment list by these two fields. So you can always choose another like uh, the range, the time of the job interval, not 12 months, but maybe another one, and of another job interval description, not entity, but maybe drops or maybe load testing. Okay, so those are all of the changes to the Onix Work. And the next ones will be about Onix Worker and then Onix Inspect. Actually, for Onix Worker and Onix Inspect, these are like quite similar to each other. So I will like quickly go through all of the changes. So the first thing that is available in Onix Worker right now is the uh, the sample text. So where does this sample text comes from? It comes from your company administrator when they design a checklist. So when you leave a comment in any checkpoint, you press on this sample text for comment button, and then you can preview the sample text if you click OK. And then once you click OK, this sample text will be applied to the comment and you don't have to type anything. If you click cancel, then you will need to like type in the comment manually. And the next one is the availability of the instructions when you do the jobs. So this instruction again is also defined by your company's administrator in the settings model. So for example, if my company instruct me to pay special attention to the certification and CE marks, when I do a job, I will see this instruction and know that these are the things that I should check more carefully while I do the while I complete the checklist. The next one is also quite similar to Onix Work, is that when you view an equipment list, then you can open its filter and choose the criterion due date, and then you can like set up all of the fields right here. Must be due mandatory, and then use a job interval description, enter a date range, and click apply. And then you can see only the equipment that needs your special attention that have the relevant job interval description. And the next one is to customize display fields with job interval descriptions. So you can see that in this equipment view, I have configured so that it shows the mandatory due status and mandatory due date of the entity. So the point here with Onix Worker is that I cannot do the setup right here in Onix Worker. I have to do it in Onix Work, and then while I log into Onix Worker with the same user account, and I switch to the same equipment view that I used in Onix Work previously, only then can I see all of these custom display fields. Okay, so for Onix Inspect is a little bit the same, but with one difference from Onix Worker, that is the introduction of the job report. So the final outcome of the job report in Onix Inspect is similar to of the Onix Work. And for the interface in Onix Inspect, you will see that it also applies the same interface with in Onix Work. For the enhancements in Onix Inspect, this is the sample text that you can use for when you comment in the checkpoint of a checklist. Again, this sample text is available from the checklist design step. So when the next one is about instruction, so your customer company will define some instruction in their settings beforehand. And when you download the customer data, the instruction will be downloaded too. So when you do the inspection on their equipment, you will see this instruction in the job, and then you can follow that instruction. For the due date, uh, similar to Onix Worker, you can like add new filter criteria by adding a new display field to filter by, and then set up all of these as these fields. So choose due date, do mandatory, choose the job interval description, and then set up the date range. The next one is a little bit similar, more similar to Onix Work than to Onix Worker, because in Onix Inspect, you can add your own custom display fields. So when you edit display fields, choose the display field that matches your need. And here in this example, I choose mandatory 12 months of entity inspection. And then I want to show the due date and the due status. And then the result is shown in this equipment list, as you can see. Okay, so we come to the final enhancements. These are some small enhancements in Onix Toolstar, but we do hope that this enhancement will help you with a better experience with this application. So the first thing is uh, from now on, we will prevent the checkout of the scrapped and missing equipment. So any equipment with this still active status will not be available in all equipment list. This is, we want to ensure that only the safe ones, the safe items can be checked out for use. The next enhancement, and also the final one in this overview, is a new comment field. So when you check out equipment, you can quickly add a note, and this note will be visible in Onix Work or any place that has the tool style information later on. So in case that you want to leave a note so that your coworker at the office can know about this checkout, then just type in your comment in here and then complete the checkout. This step is one of the final steps when you check out an equipment. Okay, so does and I I think that that's it's time we come to the demonstration of the highlighted features today. So as I have mentioned earlier, today we will go through how to automatically process the orders based on the workflow stage. And then we will see how the new job report will work. And so for these two features, I will give the demo on Onix Work. If you are using the job report from Onix Worker, sorry, Onix Inspect, it is actually the same. You are just using it from another app, but the interface and then the final document will be the same. Okay, so we will go to the demonstration. Okay, so I am okay. I think you can see my screen right now. It is an order that I am working on in Onix Work. So as an order handler, I will create some order in Onix Work orders module, either manually or if I have a system elsewhere, and then I can like import the existing orders into Onix Work, then I will do. But here I will manually create the order and order line. So let's say that I'm working on an order to a customer called Sunshine Builders, and uh, I'm finishing off the later, the last details of this order line. So let's say that we give this order line name that is HJ36. Okay, so let me use two screens in parallel so you can see how it works with the automatic processing. Let's say that I have a co-worker who looks just like me, who is working in the warehouse. And when I have done naming this order line, HJ36, I call him and say, hey, can you help me pick 36 equipment to this order line so that we can deliver the equipment and the documents to our customer on time. I said, okay. So and as the warehouse worker will come into Onix Pick and Pack, come to the orders here, and then open the order and find this HJ36. Okay, so here this person will number this order line with the 0, with the batch, with the production year as uh, this year, and then number all of this, and then apply the numbering. Okay, so in a normal process, when the one in the warehouse set to the next stage and then document edit, the person who handles this order will have to go into this work, uh, press process orders. That's a lot of work, right? Okay, so in this case, we will use the automatic processing. So I will press set to next stage in the warehouse, and you see there is a message saying the order line in progress will be processed with an estimation time. And when I come back to the order model, you will see that I didn't click anything in order to work. but it just becomes being processed and expected to complete in about 12 minutes. And this is how the automatic processing work. But how can I get this up and running? So to get this automatic processing of order lines, I have to first go into Onix Work and check the license. Okay, the license that I'm looking for right here is the Order Auto Processing add-on. So this is something that you have to contact your company's customer success manager from Onix, ask them about this license and purchase it. Once this license is won, it means that it is available for use. And then I will set up this home flow. So I will still in setting, I will go to the workflow and switch to the order line tab. Okay, I will expand this so that you can see it easier. So in the workflow order line, you can see that in my company, I decided that the order lines will only have these 4 stages: in progress, pick and completed, document added, and then completed. Once it is completed, it is officially closed, and then this order line is considered done. And there is a new column, as you might notice here, next stage after auto processing. So I will have to identify 2 stages. One stage to trigger the automatic processing, and one stage so that the order line can arrive at that after it is processed without my touch. So here I choose the picking completed. So as you see just earlier, my order line was in progress stage, but once I set it to the next stage, picking completed, it jumps to completed once it is done with the processing. So these are these 2 stages that I have to pick before I set up this workflow. And of course, I can always choose another uh, stage, but here we will go back to completed. Okay, and once you've done editing, this change will be saved immediately. So that's all for the automatic processing. And then we will come to another one, that is the job report. So to use the job report from Onix Work, you can use it from the jobs model. So this is my jobs model, and I will use the job report in the report section here. Here, there are so many options, but I will explain along the way. So the first one is an old field, customer sunshine builders. I do not want to specify the locations, so I just leave it blank. If you have any order number or customer order number, then you will use it to filter for the jobs right here. For the period, I want to send my customers uh, the jobs that I've done in over 1 year from now on, from this date. And for the done by, I want to choose all of the jobs done by the people in my company. Here I can choose to include the 5 jobs or the jobs that are still open. So you might have uploaded some jobs uh, and from Onix Inspect, and when it arrives in Onix Work, it is not filed because it, miss, it misses some details. So you can also include those open jobs. So here are the new sections. I can choose to include the mandatory inspection or and the preventive maintenance inspection. So let's say that I include all of them. In the mandatory inspection, I also have the option to filter further. I can filter with all kinds of mandatory inspection, with all kinds of certificates, or I can choose to specify some of the forms or certificates only. So these are all the options which will follow your form setting. So here are the two options that you might want to choose from. These are the old one. So the first one, only the latest job within the period. If you choose this, if an equipment has so many jobs within this time and have the relevant form, it will only return one latest job and it will disregard everything else. So, but for this one, this option, if an equipment has so many jobs then within this time range, and each form has like uh, two or three jobs, then the job report will take the latest job of each job form within that document within that equipment. So for this one, each equipment might have multiple jobs listed in the report. For this one, only one job per equipment. So that's the difference. So for now, we go with all of the default. So I click next and then review of the mandatory inspection. For quick inspection, I can choose to include it in the report or not. Preventive maintenance, because I include it. Inspection detail, choose to show high OK status, or include or exclude this section in the report. So you can scroll down to see like what is included. Next is the issues. So in within 1 year, I haven't found any issues. Also, my coworkers haven't found, so there's no issue. But if there is, you can assign the issue owner to your company or the owner company, so you can take actions further. And the job report. If you cite something here, so I'm signing on my computer, so it looks not really easy to see. But if you're signing on another device, it will be easier. So this signature. And next is receiving the report via email. So here you will choose or like enter the recipient. Okay, and then finish. Remember to like review the job details, and then if everything is okay, then finish. Okay, so I have received documentation certificates from Supply Zone Limited. This is from the job report setting that I just done earlier. So I will copy the link and open it. Okay, so this is the preview. And of course, the recipient of this job report can download or print this job report. It has all of the sections that were included earlier. Okay, so I think that's all for my presentation. Now, I think the stage is yours. Do you have any question about all of the changes in this release? If yes, please ask in the chat channel, or you can send it privately. Oh, thank you, Daniel. I hope that you can like give this all these changes a try, and then in case that you think any of them need any like modification, or if you have any comments about all of them, so you can always send an email to us. We also love to receive the compliments. Uh, the question from Daniel. At present, we do not use any the auto process from Onix, as we use a separate ERP system. And you ask for any official integration. So the answer is yes, we do offer you a way to integrate between the Onix platform and then your system. Uh, you can search for the open API of Onix. So documents about the open API can be found on our Onix community, or I can quickly search and then send you the link in the chat. So please hang on just for a few seconds. I have seen the API documentation. Oh, so so for now, as far as we can say, the API is the only thing on hand that we can offer for any like other plans to do the integration directly or uh, develop or do the codes for the API. We do not have that on the roadmap, just as far as we know. So for now, as I just mentioned, for now, if you want to do the integration, you need to take a look at the Open API and then find somebody who can uh, do the development for that. Just as a refresher, we also have the sandbox for the API, so you might want to give it a try. And we have all of the like instructions on how to set up the API integration on the community, as you might have found it. But I will send the link again, just in case. So you can try out with the sandbox environment, and then we hope it will help you try things out and not affecting the real data, the real equipment data. Okay, I think I will wait. You're welcome, Daniel. So I will wait for another 10 seconds, and if there is no more question, then this webinar will be concluded. And thank you all for attending the webinar and hearing me getting you through all of the changes. So I hope that you enjoy it and can give the updates a try later on in case of any problems, any like further questions, or if you have wonders about the best practice to do something, we are open to hear it in the community, Onyx community, or if you want it to be private, then it will be support@onyx.com, the inbox that you can send an email to us. Okay, thank you for joining. This webinar will end now.